Hello, this is Manesh Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is October 31st. This is the weekly Ichimoku analysis of the global markets. As you know, we've been expanding our market base from the US to now start covering Europe, Asia, and so forth. So we're going to start going through all those markets now. If you want to see us analyze any other markets out there, please let us know, and we can add them to the video for the future. Okay? Let's go and look at the disclaimer. This is for educational use only. All charts are in Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or FreeStockCharts.com. Here are my contact details. You can follow us on Ichimoku Trading. If you have any questions, you can post them on the forums from EII Capital. Okay, so let's go in straight look. Let's look at the U.S. markets. Let's look at the ES. Let's look at the NASDAQ because that's pretty much been leading. Let's go look at the weekly on the NASDAQ. Remember, we talked about the last couple of weeks. We've been recommending if you're going to go long on the NASDAQ and then go short on the S&P, kind of as a hedge. That been working out really well. And let's see if that continues. If you look at the NASDAQ here, we're still going higher. Pretty much, if you look, we made a higher high compared to the couple of weeks before that. Everything is still very strong as far as Ichimoku is concerned with the NASDAQ. Okay, one little concern: we may expect a little pullback eventually, where the Tinkinson and price equalize. But right now, we don't even need a pullback. Reason why is the Tinkinson is pointing up, which is very strong. Okay, let's go look at the daily time frame from the NASDAQ, and you could see that we have yet to penetrate the Tinkinson for the last couple of days. In fact, if you look at the last time we even closed below that guy was back October 4th, and we've yet to close below that. We've been dipping below that a couple of times, but we've yet to go below that. Notice the Chicago is still very strong, so that's going forward. That looks very good. Okay, now let's go look at the Dow. Now, if you look at the Dow, it's right at its pivot high, the last high here that was established back in 426 at 11,206 on the Dow futures. We're pretty much right at that point. We haven't broken through, but if we break through here, this thing has a tendency of probably going higher. It's pretty interesting how we're right at the top here on the Dow futures, right around election time of November 2nd. So either it's going to form a double top and go skyrocketing down, or if it's going to break through this last resistance here and go up. So these elections definitely going to make a big difference as far as the markets are concerned. As far as the ES futures are concerned, we're close to the pivot high here that was established in 426, 419, but we're not even close to that compared to the Dow or the NASDAQ, which pretty much has blown past it. However, if you look at the Ichimoku indicators, the Chicago pretty much this week will be coming out of price and now has a tendency of going higher. All the clouds and everything are pretty much telling me that even after elections, it seems like we're going to sit there and we're going to blow the roof and go higher. It's going to be interesting to see. But and I'm not based on the Chicago, so it's going to be interesting. Either we're going to go higher right away, or we're going to pull back and then go higher. That's what Ichimoku is telling me right now, as far as on the weekly time frame, long-term pictures for the U.S. markets. Okay. One thing I wanted to do different this week was to look at the monthly charts for the NASDAQ future, and then so everyone could see that. Give me 1 sec. Let me just make sure we got ample number of history here and look at that. But you can see on the monthly charts, we've broken out of the cloud for the NASDAQ futures, and we look very strong going forward. If you look at the Dow futures, look at that. We have yet to break out of the cloud. So the sentiment is still bearish until we break through it. However, this is the finished part of the cloud. So if you look at the Dow futures, it looks like it wants to get to about 11,975. So this still looks like there's a huge upside run before anything can happen to go to the downside. Let's go look at the ES futures. Same scenario here. If it breaks for the pivot, then it's going to have a chance to go to 1324. But remember, these look like critical states right here where they could form double tops and go down. Okay, so just remember that as you're looking forward and moving forward with everything. So basically, where those highs have double tops. If you look at the NASDAQ futures, this pretty much is going to be stopping roughly, probably close to its high, or if not, a little short of its high if the markets do go down to the longs to the bottom. Okay, now that covers that. Excuse me. Let's go to the global markets and let's look at that. Okay, so let's go look at the German market, the DAX right now. If you look at the DAX index, last couple of weeks we've broken out higher, and we're going higher, higher, higher. Last 2 weeks before the video, basically we broke it out and we went higher. However, the problem we're now starting to see, if you look at the Tinkinson here, okay, there's a problem here in that Tinkinson is not falling price at all right now, so that's a major concern for us completely moving forward. Okay, so that's a word of caution right now, where you definitely need to look at that, because that's a big concern moving forward. Okay, and you could see that the Tinkinson is right here, and price just gapped up, and then price and things are not following that at all. Let's go look at the FTSE, which is the London index. If you look at the FTSE, this is the London index. So if you look at the German market looks very similar to the NASDAQ. But if you start going to London, the London market looks very similar to the Dow, where we're right here at the pivot high, the last high right here, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, but our markets are definitely influencing all the other global markets out there. And if you notice, the Chicago is the same thing as the Dow. So the FTSE's following the Dow completely, whereas the German market's following basically the NASDAQ. Okay, so let's go out and go to India. We've been talking about the last couple of weeks rotating out of the Indian market and going to the Hong Kong index. If you look, it's been a good recommendation. Reason why is we're still in the pullback phase for the Indian market. As we mentioned, we kind of wanted to go as close to this Tinkinson value right here, which is the conversion line here in freestockcharts.com of 19,335.37. So we're kind of hoping for another 700 point movement down, but you never know. If this thing's very strong, which the Chicago indicates, this could be it, which is a minor pullback and then go up, and then Tinkinson will follow. But we got to wait and see. Let's go to the Hong Kong index, the Hang Seng, and if you look, we're retesting the pretty much the last high here. We're retesting it there, and we're kind of stopped and closed right there right now. Okay, so excuse me, we're waiting now to see exactly what's going to happen here, but both of those markets are still bullish. Just word of caution on them, and just be careful because the elections here will influence them going out there. Okay, and lastly, let's go look at the Nikkei. Nikkei here is basically closed below the Tinkinson, so there's a high possibility coming down here to 9222 or to this level here, which is going to be about close to 88.95. My guess is it's going to come down in here 88.95, and then the key question is, will the Nikkei go lower or will it start going to the top side? Okay. So that's it for this week for the global markets. If you have any questions, please contact us. Here are my contact details.